Welcome back to the YouTube Living Wisdom channel. The subject that we will be discussing today is the art of speaking. So if you ever had any questions about how to speak, what to speak, when to speak, if you had questions about the art of speaking, this is what we're going to cover today. Speech is very important because speech is the way we communicate our feelings and the way we communicate our thoughts. And it's very important in order to create success in any area of life. We speak to our family, we speak to our friends, we speak to our colleagues, we speak to our students if we're teaching, and we speak to our children. So the art of speaking is very important. It's necessary to understand in any area of life and in every area of life. So thinking is really is the basis of speech. Sometimes we have to express our thoughts and speak them out. But sometimes we don't have to even speak our thoughts. We can keep them on the silent level. But speech is important because speech is an expression of our thoughts, and it should always be appropriate for the surroundings. One important aspect of speech is that speech should be harmonious, and it shouldn't disturb the surroundings or produce any disharmony in the surroundings. In fact, even if we have to speak out some truth to someone, it should not hurt the person, so that harsh words, even if we have to say no or we have to decline an offer, it should not be spoken in a harsh way, because we don't want to hurt anyone with our speech. And the kindness and the delicacy of the heart is very important when speaking. Actually, speech, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi says, speech is the expression of the heart and the mind together. The softness of one's speech actually indicates the culture of the heart, and the logic, the imagination, and the creativity indicates the culture of the mind. So both the heart and the mind are expressed in our speech. Also, it's very important that our speech creates a positive influence in the environment. So even if we speak one wrong word, and it creates a wrong impression, and that influence can't be withdrawn. We can't remove that influence. So we must be very careful so that we don't create disharmony or tension in the environment, because the whole universe actually reacts to individual action, and that means even to individual speech. If we speak out a word and it creates disharmony in the atmosphere, this disharmony spreads and influences the whole universe. So we want to be very careful with our speech. So we always have a soft speech, and we always have kindness and a delicacy of heart. So that this is very important, so that we spread waves of softness and kindness and delicacy into the environment, which which nourishes every aspect of life in the universe. There's a beautiful quotation by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi which I'd like to share with you, and this also is related to speech. And I quote, "Do not oppose, because in opposing, the tenderness of feeling level is crushed. All action should be to nourish the fine feeling developed in the cities," and the cities is a technique for perfection developed by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. It's an advanced technique that we learn after we learn transcendental meditation. That is why we say, speak the truth, but see that you are speaking delicately. Do not speak non-truth, and do not speak in a non-sweet way, so that the feeling is nourished. The whole effect of activity is to enrich the feeling of the other. Be as delicate as possible. If communication accomplishes something on the gross, but damages something on the level of feeling, then it is a spiritual loss. The feeling is more important for life. Nourishment of feeling level is the basis for growth of spiritual, holistic value. Delicate behavior on the surface should be such as to nourish, uphold, and enhance the transcendental value where feelings merge into a common source. Do not oppose. Opposition is dangerous for immortality. End quote. So this quotation just gives a clear idea that speaking should be appropriate, it should be kind, it should be delicate, and it should nourish the environment. And it's more important that we nourish the feeling level of the person we're speaking to. And even if we have to share a truth, the truth should be spoken as softly and gently as possible. So this is the art of speaking, is really that the speech should be appropriate, it should be harmonious, it should be delicate, it should be soft, it should not hurt anyone, and it should be helpful to the person we're speaking to, and it should also nourish the whole environment. So this is something that we want to remember when we speak, that speech is an expression of both our heart and our mind, and it should be it should spread some nourishing influence into the environment. The way to do this is really to nourish the fine level of feeling, and the way we do this is by practicing the transcendental meditation technique. Because during the practice of transcendental meditation, we experience quieter and quieter and quieter levels of the thinking process until we transcend thought completely and experience that state of infinite bliss consciousness, pure consciousness. The experience of bliss nourishes the very fine level of feeling, and this fine level of feeling is then expressed in our thoughts, in our speech, and in our actions. So this level of bliss actually develops, and it becomes more and more expressed in our daily activity and in our thoughts and in our speech. And at the same time that we experience more and more bliss at the finest level of the thinking process, tensions in our muscles, tensions in the body, tension in the mind is also released. And so because the tensions in the muscles and in the body and the shoulders and various places in the physiology is spontaneously released, the stress is released in the physiology. And when we have less stress, less tension, less anxiety inside, then our speech radiates more love, more joy, and more kindness. And then the art of speaking is very naturally enhanced and enriched as a result of the growth of consciousness. So transcendental meditation can really help us to become masters of the art of speaking pleasingly, harmoniously, gently, and in a nourishing way in all our interactions. So this is something which can be developed through the practice of transcendental meditation and can be mastered, and then we really will be able to accomplish most through the art of speaking. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, and I'm sure that we will all become masters so that we can radiate love, harmony, joy, and peace into the environment. Thank you for coming.